Islam, within its core teachings, within the way it's been taught and spread for centuries, has hatred of Judaism and of the Jewish people within it. It's embedded within it. And that Islamic upbringing that a lot of Muslims have is a major source of Muslim hatred towards Jewish people. That is something I agree with completely. Islam is a major source of that, and it's the way that a lot of it's the methods that a lot of Muslims are taught to hate all around the world, Jewish people in Israel.
Agreed.
Okay. Number 3, I don't like Hamas. I dislike Hamas. I can't stand the values that the Islamist values that they support and propagate. I completely oppose their approach of violence, and I oppose their goal, as mentioned earlier, of eliminating Israel, whether it's stated publicly or overtly or not. I know that they amended their charter or changed the wording of their internal memos of what they are and what they represent to be more palatable. But whether they did that or not, I still think that a lot of Hamas militants and the people involved with Hamas directly want to eliminate the state of Israel. That's their goal. I oppose that. I don't like Hamas. I don't like their violent methods at all.
Well said. So far, Alim and the apostate Aladdin agree with the apostate prophet and David Wood and me. But there is a but. There is a but. Let's see what that is.
Agreed. And
they're just making things worse. What they're doing is making things worse. Like, it might be giving people some Palestinians this kind of, we're giving it to them like they're giving it to us. But we're going to go into it a bit later about how that's just counterproductive and just going to make things worse for both sides.
You say, and they make it worse. That's an understatement. That is like saying a black hole sucking in earth makes things on earth worse. No, that is the reason. The fact that Palestine has a terrorist group as government is not a side issue. This is the issue. Let me give you an example. Let's take the most prosperous country on the world. Let's say Norway. And let's put ISIS running Norway for 5 years. Norway, after 5 years, will look like this. So ISIS, the fact that Norway had ISIS as government, was not, we must also acknowledge this fact. No, this was the fact.
يعني نحن لا نخجل أن نقول بيصير بعض الأخطاء الموجودة، وهذا شيء طبيعي بيصير في كل الدول. لذلك نحن نمتلك الجرأة والشجاعة أن بعض الأمور كان فيها بعض، يعني مثلا نحن لم نكن نوجه عملنا ضد المدنيين، ولم يكن هدفنا قتل المدنيين، ولا هدفنا اختطاف المدنيين.
Senior Hamas officer Ghazi Hamad, we made some mistakes on October 7. We didn't mean to kidnap or murder civilians. But is this some mistakes? So when you go to a family and you bound together the child and the mother and you burn them alive, is this truly can be covered with, we did some mistakes? When, as we speak, you keep children in dark dungeons after murdering their parents in heinous ways, is this some mistake? Maybe if you kill a disabled child in front and her father, is this, yes, we did also, yes? Let's acknowledge we did some mistakes. At the same time, when we all know that what you really want is to conquer the world, not freedom, can we include those are some mistakes a side issue? Let's forget the irrelevant details, the distractions. Let's forget the distractions of the real issue.
Muslims are clearly going to turn their backs on the Labour Party, and inshallah the Labour Party candidate Azhar Ali, the Prevent supporting the guy who's mates with Tony Blair, served under Tony Blair and Gordon Brown at the height of the Iraq War. Inshallah, the Muslims of Rochdale will ensure that that man is not the next MP of that area.
You know what is this narrative, Ali, my dear friend? That I like you very much, like a person. This narrative is, these guys are the innocent victims of colonialism, and the West are the evil oppressors responsible for all that is happening in Palestine. That is so far from the truth, is outrageous, is infuriating, my friend, given that only the West helps Palestinians. The West is giving $1.5 billion to Palestinians every year. So, the European people and the American people put their hands in the pocket and give $1.5 billion to Palestinians every year. And you like us to believe that these people are somehow the side issue, the innocent victims of circumstance. And we are responsible for what is happening in Palestine. We are the evil and they are the angels. No, we won't accept that. I don't accept that. This narrative is sick. This is a sickening narrative. Furthest from the truth, it cannot be.
I lost a few friends in the beginning around October 7th because I was shocked at how there are some Muslims that I know who were sort of celebrating what happened as some kind of revenge or yay, we finally got him back.
That's real. That's a real phenomenon. Yeah.
Yep.
I'm smiling and I'm happy. I'm elated. It's a day of courage. It's a day of happiness. It's a day of pride. It's a day of victory.
And here's the thing. Depending on where in this stream you check in or which part of it you watch, you'll get a very different narrative or understanding of what our position is. Like someone listening to that might think, oh, so they hate Muslims. They think that, they're pro-Israel. No, I'm talking about the reality of things.
Why you feel the need to be apologetic in this point? The amount of denial and acceptance of Hamas in the Muslim community is surreal. I haven't seen something similar ever.
But it's interesting. I mean, Remembrance Day. I mean, I don't know what your poppy is for a start, Robert. Why haven't got you poppy on? And absolute disgrace.
I know. What can I say? There is a type of poppy which we're going to discuss, which I might wear. It's a Palestine poppy.
Oh, right.
Everything must be scapegoated to Hamas. Even before Hamas was an entity.
This one question is enough to see the inhumanity taking place.
Seriously, don't bother celebrating Christmas this year. Don't bother singing Christmas carols about Jesus and Bethlehem.
The West should see it needs the Muslim world, I think, to be strong and confident in itself. If it's strong and confident in itself, it won't be a threat to anyone.
The amount of stupidity and psychotic denial we witness after 7/10 from the Muslim community, I will make a dark joke. They deserve to be bombed just for their stupidity. Okay, but behind this dark joke, there is a truth. What kind of representation is this? Where are you going with this mindset? For a Palestinian state, or for the mental asylum, or for the mental warrant, how you call that? For a Palestinian state, or for the mental institute, are you going?
I felt alienated from a lot of Muslim people I knew because they were yeah, like Adam here is saying, an eye for an eye. Like they were sort of celebrating that finally we got them back. You know, Palestinians have been oppressed for so long. Finally, they won. One battle.
Aladdin, Apostate Aladdin, you make the silly mistake putting the carrot over the horse. I don't know. You take it the opposite direction, my friend. 710 was not the exception of the rule that came because of the accumulating suffering of Palestinians. 710 is a sample of what is happening all over history.
But what we're really talking about is what happened in 47-48. And in 47-48, the Arabs started a war. And actually, people pay for their mistakes. And the Palestinians have never actually agreed to pay for their mistakes. They make mistakes, they attack, they suffer as a result. And we see something similar going on today in the Gaza Strip. They do something terrible. They kill 1,200 Jews. They abduct 250 women and children and babies and old people and whatever. And then they start screaming, please save us from what we did, because the Jews are counterattacking. And this is what happened then, and this is what's happening now.
In the Oslo Accord, the USA president was totally in favor of Palestine, totally hostile to the Israeli prime minister. So much so that the prime minister of Israel was assassinated. Imagine how much he gave, that he was literally assassinated. Okay. Clinton made the Israeli prime minister his prostitute. That's how far he went to accommodate Palestine. Yet Palestinians rejected that. Should this rejection have any consequence? Or should everything go as it was? The fact that Arafat, when died, he had 3 billion in his account that now went to his daughter that owns a neighborhood in UK. Is this a side issue? In other words, the money Europeans were giving to Palestinians were going to the pocket of Arafat. Is that significant to notice? The Hamas leaders having more money, 5 times the money of Taylor Swift, the money of Europeans and Americans, by the way, my money they have, the money I gave in quote marks for the Palestinian children. And while they are living in a luxury life, playing ping pong, I don't know, they take a break from playing ping pong, and instead of caring for Palestinians, they plot and mastermind terrorist attacks against the people who are giving them those money. Is that significant? So the fact that the people who run Palestine, instead of thinking to help Palestinians, they conspire and plot to sacrifice Palestinians and to make a caliphate. Is that significant? Or is it just a detail? Are they really the children of angels, the good guys? And we Europeans need to be ashamed. Are they really the humanitarian, the libertarians? Are they really the libertarians? And we Europeans are the
Well, look at what
oppressors.
happened with your Green Party in Australia, Rita. They actually refused to condemn the Hamas atrocities. Now, when Vladimir Lenin took over the former, created the Soviet Union, took over the Russian Empire, he created this term, the useful idiots, the stupid, moronic, imbecilic Western intellectuals who supported him even as he instituted a reign of terror that would lead to Stalin killing 30 million Russians.
So, sorry, guys. You brought the spokesperson of UNRWA for 40 years to tell you the truth about UNRWA. That is what is going to happen right now.
I think it's easiest for a general audience to think of UNRWA as being like a government. It works in Syria, Jordan, the West Bank, Gaza, and Lebanon. It has 706 schools. It has 550,000 students, 7 million patient visits per year in its primary health clinics. 400,000 people, the most vulnerable in the Middle East, use its relief and social services department. It has emergency food for 1.7 million people. 1.2 million of those are in
So,
Gaza.
you give the good money of European and American people to schools that preach anti-Western hatred and radicalize children without demanding anything in return. You work with terrorist organizations like Hamas, directly funding them with EU and American dollar to perpetrate terror against Europe and America. You should be in jail for negligence at the very least. Every army spends a significant amount of its military budget on so-called logistics support. That includes feeding and housing the soldiers, as well as training and education, and providing fuel for vehicles, for example. For Hamas, the logistics support department is UNRWA. UNRWA takes care of the everyday needs of Hamas, so Hamas can spend its money and time to weapons and the actual act of terrorism. UNRWA takes care of the rest, including radicalizing children to ISIS type of ideology. UNRWA receives 1.5 billion every year from US and EU to indirectly fund Hamas terrorist operations. Literally, guys.
نحن الحين في انطلاقة الفتح 22. احنا اليوم راح نحرر كل بلدنا.
UNRWA is the United Nations Relief and Works Agency. Its school system encompasses more than 400 facilities in Gaza, the West Bank, and Jerusalem. The system garners 58% of the $1.5 billion budget of UNRWA and proclaims that it educates refugee children to follow principles of nonviolence and conflict resolution in a peaceful manner. However, our monitoring of UNRWA during the COVID-19 pandemic shows the opposite.
وطلاب الصف السابع في منطقة غرب غزة التعليمية وفي قطاع غزة ككل. معكم المعلم رأفت عوض لنشرح سويا.
Okay, let's show you some snippets.
Hamas and Islamic Jihad Summer Camps 2021. The way children from UNRWA schools spent their summer vacation.
مخيم طلائع التحرير سيف القدس للعام 2021. الله أكبر ولله الحمد.
واحنا جيل فلسطين احنا بنعشق الشهادة.
Now listen to me, pro-Palestinian activist. Because we are humanitarian, we are willing to help you. But take your tone down a bit. Okay? You are not smart. You are not moral. Okay? You are not angels. You are to blame. Okay? You are to blame. But because you are fellow humans, we will try to help you. clarity? Okay, guys, thank you very much. I will the next that is irrelevant with the video adjusted, but I found in my old computer some old songs I made, and I will put one now. Where it is? Ah, here it is. I don't know what's the name of the song, but I like it. Haven't found